Hi, it's me again. So I'm going to be doing a book interview on the Hobbit series, and I'm going to start by reading part of it. Okay, so Gandalf comes to the door and he's like talking to him, and he says, "You seem to remember my fireworks kindly. At any rate, and at this, not without hope, I indeed, for your old grandfather Took's sake, and for the sake of poor Belladonna, I will give you what you ask for." "I beg your pardon, I haven't asked for anything." "Yes, you have, twice now." "My pardon, I give it to you. In fact, it will go so far as to send you on this adventure. Very amusing for me, very good for you, and profitable too. Very likely if you get over it. If you ever get over it. Okay, sorry, I don't want any adventures, thank you. Not today, good morning. But please come to tea any time you like. Why not tomorrow? Come tomorrow. Goodbye." And with that, the hobbit turned and scuttled inside his round green door, and shut it as quickly as he dared, not to seem rude. Wizards, after all, are wizards. Okay. So then he says, "What on earth did I ask him to tea for?" And then he kind of sits down and has like a tea cake and stuff and a drink. And then Gandalf, in the meantime, is outside, standing outside the door and laughing long but quietly. After a while he stepped up and with the spike on his staff scratched a queer sign on the hobbit's beautiful green front door. Then he strode away, just about the time when Bilbo was finishing his second cake and beginning to think that he had escaped adventure as well. Okay, the next day he had almost forgotten about Gandalf. He did not remember things very well, unless he put them down on his engagement table. Like this: Gandalf tea, Wednesday. Yesterday he had been so flustered to do any of the kind. Okay, so he had asked him to tea, right? And so he completely forgot about it. But then there's people showing up at his door. And so they keep knocking on the door and they keep coming in. Now remember yesterday Gandalf did put a spike on it, used a spike to scratch his sign in his door. That sign was for adventures so that the other the dwarves would know what house to go to. And so they all start showing up there around tea time for the adventure, and then finally Gandalf gets there and he's asking what the heck is going on, because he didn't expect the adventure and he only expected Gandalf if anyone did come for tea. But they're all gathering there to talk about the adventure, and they kind of stay there until the next day when they all pack up, leave a note, and then he catches up to them and they leave. And so he's going on an adventure as a hobbit, not wanting to go on an adventure, but they're kind of well, he's kind of a hobbit, so he's not really that useful to us. But then in the end, they end up finding out how useful he really was, because he ends up finding the ring, and that kind of starts their adventures. But I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you guys should go read it. And then, once you've read it, you should go read those 3 Lord of the Rings books, which are The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Rings, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and then The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Yeah, The Return of the King. So I'm reading those 3 books right now because I've already read the Hobbit book, but it was really amazing. J.R.R Tolken wrote it really well. You can picture it in your head, because it's very, very well described, so you can kind of be picturing at the same time. So yes, I would recommend you all go read it because it's just amazing, and yeah, so that's my interview. Bye!